Hello friends, welcome to the session on data structure. It's one of the interesting topic. We know what is data, we know what is information. Now today we'll talk about in what good way we can store our data so that information retrieval and processing is simple, right? So let us look at why you need data structure, right? So computer science is all about storing and computing from a data. So studying data structures helps you deal with different ways of arranging, processing, and storing data. All codes are made for real-time purpose. So data structure allows user to provide, use, and handle data in different ways, right? So data structure and algorithms helps in understanding the nature of the problem at a deeper level and thereby a better understanding of the world, right? So now you know why you need data structure. Right? So data structure provides a means of organizing, managing, and storing data efficiently. It also includes the collection of data as well as the operations that can be applied to that data. Right? So data, as applications are getting complicated and amount of data is increasing day by day, many problems are arising. So data structures are the means by which computers store, organize, and access data. They are necessary first to allow for reasonable processor speed. The more data computer must handle, the faster its processor must work. As data increases, the processor can fail to keep up with it unless the data is well organized into data structure. Secondly, data structures make data searchable. We have all looked at a long list of numbers or an overwhelming spreadsheet and wondered how do you get the data it faster. So data structures have search functions built right into them so we can access that what we require and simply and quickly we can search the data in a large data sheet. Thirdly, data structures are necessary to handle high levels of requests for data. Sometimes a company's client seems to request data all at once. And without data structures in place, those requests can be a big crash. Otherwise, so data structures help in to handle the computers, the data efficiently. Right? So why you need data structures? Using data structures, in short, you can organize and handle data efficiently. So what are the core capabilities of data? Now the data structures need to demonstrate the three core capabilities. The first one is they should be efficient. So data structures make programs more productive with regards to time. Now consider the data structure built into search engine. For example, once a operation is performed, the results are presented in a way that prioritizes the search results. So what is given in the search keyword? So when the exact match results are there in the first 10 results of your search index or search result output page, fine? Which helps users to sort through the potential information without having to wait or scroll for long periods of time. The next core capability is they should be reusable. So once a data structure is implemented, it needs to demonstrate an ability to be used for other similar data needs. These data structures can then be compiled, shared, and used by others. And the important core capability is abstraction. Data structure is specified by the ADT, that is abstract data type, which provides a level of abstraction. Now, the client program uses the data structure through interface only without getting into the implementation details. That is nothing but the abstraction. Another example of abstraction, like if you're driving a four-wheel car, right? When you're pressing the clutch and the brake, vehicle will stop. But when you're pressing the clutch and brake, you are not bothered about what is the mechanism goes on, what happens when I press a clutch, right? So that is abstraction. We don't go into that detail. And that capability is provided by data structures. Okay, now let us get the definition of data structure. So data structures can be defined as a group of data elements which provides an efficient way of storing and organizing data in computers so that it can be used efficiently. Now, data structures are the main part of computer science algorithms as they enable the programmers to handle the data in efficient way. It plays a vital role in enhancing the performance of a software or a program, as the main function of the software is to store and retrieve the user's data as fast as possible. The idea is to reduce the space and time complexities of different tasks. Fine. So now you know why we need data structure and the necessity of it. Fine. Now let us look at the categories of data structure. So you have two categories for data structure, your linear data structure and non-linear data structure. So linear data structures are linear in form, right? It is sequential data structure, one after the data elements are stored one after the other. In case of non-linear data structures, they are not linear, right? They are in a different order, right? So under linear data structures, you have the examples as array, stack, queue, linked list. Under non-linear data structure, you have graphs and trees. So this is an example of graph. This is an example of tree, where they represent the hierarchical relationship. Fine. Now let us look at the categories of data structure. The very first one is the linear data structure. So data structure is called linear if all its elements are arranged in the linear order. In linear data structure, the elements are stored in the non-hierarchical way, where each element has the successor and the predecessor, except the first and the last element. If this is the item, then this is a predecessor and this one is the successor. Fine. There are the single level. In case of linear data structure, single level is involved. Why? Because this is a single level. Here it has multiple levels. Here it is a single level. Fine. So we can traverse all the elements in single one. In a single iteration, you can traverse all the elements. And it is easy to implement as computer memory is organized in linear. There are two techniques of representing linear structures within the memory. First one is to provide the linear relationship among all the elements represented using linear memory location. These linear structures are termed as arrays. Fine. And the second technique is to provide linear relationship among all the elements represented by using the concept of pointers or links. These structures are termed as linked list. Fine. And the examples of linear data structures: array, stack, queue, linked list, etc. Now, when you look at array, now array is a collection of similar types of data items, and each item is called an element of the array, right? The elements of the array share the same variable name, but each one carries a different index number known as subscript. You can have one-dimensional or multi-dimensional arrays. Then we have about stack. Now stack is a linear list in which insertion and deletions are allowed only at top and at one pointer, that is called top. Of course, you have studied all these at your graduation level, so I'll just tell you in short. Next, you have queue, which is again a linear list in which elements can be inserted only at one end, called rear, and deleted only at the other end, called front. Then you have linked list, which is again a linear data structure, which is used to maintain a list in the memory. It can be seen as a collection of nodes stored at non-contiguous memory locations. Remember, non-contiguous memory locations. Each node of the list contains a pointer to its adjacent node. Fine. Now let's look at non-linear data structures. So linear data structures are clear. In case of linear data structures, we have array, stack, queue, and linked list. Now this data structure does not form a sequence. That is, each item or element is connected with two or more other items in a non-linear arrangement. The data elements are not arranged in sequential structure. Fine. There are two types of non-linear data structures. Trees. First one is trees. So trees are multi-level data structures with a hierarchical relationship among its elements known as nodes. The bottommost node is the hierarchy are called the leaf nodes. These are the leaf nodes, right? While the topmost node is called the root node. So each node contains pointer to its adjacent nodes. Fine. Each node contains pointers to its adjacent nodes. Now, tree data structure is based on the parent-child relationship among the nodes. Each node in the tree can have more than one children. except the leaf node where each node can have at most one parent except the root node. Trees can be classified into many categories. So we'll look at different trees as we go ahead in our syllabus. Next, what you have is the graphs. Graphs can be defined as the pictorial representation of the set of elements which are represented by vertices. These are nothing but the vertices. The numbers what you can see written are nothing but the vertices, right? And they are connected by the links called as edges. These are connected by the links. These links are called as edges, right? A graph is different from trees in the sense that graph can have cycles while the trees cannot have cycles. Fine. Now, what are the operations what we can carry out on a graph, on a data structure? The very first operation is traversing. As the name suggests, each and every data structure contains a set of data elements. Traversing the data structure means visiting each element of the data structure at least once in order to perform some specific operation. It may be searching or sorting, right? Next, what you have is the insertion. Insertion can be defined as the process of adding the elements into the data structure at any location, right? You can add it at any location. If the size of data structure is n, then we can only insert n minus 1 elements into it. Why? Because we always say the indexing starts from 0. Next, what you have is the deletion. The process of removing an element from the data structure is called deletion. We can delete an element from data structure at any random location, right? But if you try to delete something from an empty data structure, then there is an underflow condition which occurs. Next, you have searching. So the process of finding the location of an element within the data structure is called searching. Sorting, the process of arranging the data structure in a specific order is known as sorting. There are many algorithms you have already seen, quicksort and merge sort. Next, you can also carry out merging when two lists, like if you say like list A and B of size M and N are respectively of similar type of elements, you can merge them together to form a new list C with the size of M plus N. So this process of combining two lists into a single list is called merging. I hope the concept of data structure is clear. We spoke about what is data structure, why you need data structure, what are the categories of data structures, that is linear and non-linear. We also saw the operations of data structure. Any data structure has a set of features and the set of operations what you can carry out on that particular data structure. So as we go ahead, we'll start learning linear data structures. So we'll talk about it in abstract form and then we'll go into its implementations. I hope the concepts are a bit clear. Stay home, stay safe.